Hey, everybody. How are you? Exciting. All about trick training. I've got a lot of things to share with you tonight. I'm going to start with a question that I have for you. Because we will be going through a exercise, I'm going to be teaching you all a trick. The question I have for you is, have you ever shaped a behavior before? And I've got like 5 choices and you can make up your own. Number 1 is, I don't know what that means, Susan. Have I ever shaped a behavior before? I really don't know what that means. Or no, I've never shaped a behavior. Or 3, I've tried, but most often I just use a food lure. 4, yeah, sometimes I do shape behaviors. Or 5, most of the time when I'm teaching something new, I shape it. So I would love to know, which one are you? We got 1 for 4. Yes, sometimes geek out your workout. 5 most of the time. A 4, 5, no, 5, 4, 4. Hi, Carla. Linda says 4 after following my videos. There's so many things. Like, I'm hoping for those of you who've never shaped behavior before, tonight might be you're onto something new. For those of you who have, you're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So a lot of 4s, you're all over the board. So some 4s, Jeffrey, 5 for my husband. That's awesome. Shape tricks. So a lot of variation. That's great. So shaping behaviors is what allows me to, you can shape a dog to like eat a pill. You can, obviously we shape our dogs to have their nails cut and learn to love to have their nails cut. So there's so many things that I'm hoping for those of you who are new to this, that this is going to catch you, give you something new to do. And we do have, I've got a dog cam set up here. Hold on, I'm going to share the dog cam, but there are no dogs in the dog cam because the dogs are all back here with me. So you'll have to trust me on that one. When it's time to do the actual dog training, there will be a dog in that camera for you to watch and follow along. Okay, so let me know in the comments where you guys are from. I see somebody just said, Daniel said hi from New Zealand. Daniel, hello from New Zealand. I'm actually going to be in Australia in April teaching. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, first of all, what is going to be happening tonight. I have notes. It's a rarity, but I actually do have notes. Annabelle, I'm going to be in Brisbane giving a lecture. So tonight, I'm going to share with you why I absolutely love trick training. I'm going to share with you the keys to successful trick training. Like I have some guidelines for you all to follow along tonight or anytime you decide to shape a trick. I'm going to teach my favorite trick. And I think you guys know what it is, because I don't know if it's my favorite trick. It's one of my favorite tricks to teach. I'm going to show you how to teach that, and I'm going to give you a little hint. I did not teach it this way for the first 5 dogs I trained. Tater Salad is the first dog I trained this way, and I learned it from another person, and I'm going to share all about that when we get there. And I'm also going to talk to you about our Valentine's Day. Hey, hearts to all of you. Swagger doesn't mean we're ending. For Valentine's Day, I'm going to share all about Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation, the bundle that we have on. Annie, good to see you. Hey. Okay, so that is what I've got. Now, if you're just joining me, please answer this question. Have you ever shaped behavior? Because I would love to know. And I'm going to start off, while people are joining us, explaining why, like for me, tricks were a very huge part of me leaving my former way of training. So I started out dog training with choke chains and pinch collars. So I was what they would call a balanced trainer. Back in the 80s, early 90s. And it was, I trained tricks just with shaping, obviously without any punishment at all. And I was talking to my now late husband, and at that time we were just friends, and he was an obedience judge. And I remember saying to him, you know, it's strange. I could give you probably 200 tricks that my dog knows. You could put them in a hat, pick out any one of them, and I could go into an obedience ring and I would nail them. Boom, 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 boom. She would never make a mistake. But why, when I'm doing healing and stay and all these other things, am I using corrections? So that was the first thing that got my wheels turning about, Susan, why are you training the way you train? So tricks were a big part of why I changed to becoming a reinforcement-based trainer, leaving positive punishment and corrections as part of my history. So I have a soft spot in my heart for tricks. And what's really cool, and I'm going to talk, I'm kind of giving you some foreshadowing here. I'm going to talk about our membership site called WAG Nation. And why I'm excited about that is every month there's a new trick that's added. And guess what? I think there's more than, well, there's for sure more than 24 tricks in there. I've got 34. There's 34 tricks, like a video and a lesson plan of how to train a trick in WAG Nation. I think I only taught like 3 or 4 of them. That's what I love, because I'm learning from people all over the world. Tonight's trick is by one of our instructors in WAG Nation. I'll tell you more about that when we get there. Okay, let's jump in, and Mark says, I'm just here to see if my wife will see this. Oh, that's awesome, Mark. Hearts to you and your wife. And Swagger says, hey, too, Mark. So, hey. So we're going to start with some of the guidelines to trick training. And here's the rub. Tricks, everything we do, like, you know what? I just kind of pulled a trick on you because I called tonight trick training. Every single thing we do is trained the same way. It is all trick training. So whether I'm teaching a sit stay, a down stay, a retrieve, running contacts in agility, everything is a trick. So when I'm sharing tonight what the guidelines for really good trick training, I'm sharing also the guidelines for really, really good dog training. So even if you have zero interest in trick training, you are here at the right time, at the right place. So first thing with any training that we do is you've got to go into training with a light heart, right? You're going in, remembering, keeping in mind the number one kind of guideline that guides all of the training that we do here. And that is that our dogs are always doing the best they can with the education we've given them and the environment we put them in. So if I'm teaching tricks, or I'm teaching anything, we're going in lighthearted because we're going to educate. And I'm going to, when I teach the trick tonight, I'm going to use Tater Salad to demonstrate. And you've got to be lighthearted when you're teaching him. But believe it or not, he was really easy to teach this trick to. I'm also going to bring out my puppy, she might be close to 10 months old now. I have never taught her this. My hallucination is she won't be as easy as Tater. And I'll get to that in a second. Okay. I've got 5 guidelines for teaching. Like I say, 5 guidelines for teaching tricks, but 5 guidelines for teaching anything. Number 1, cut up your treats ahead of time. So while I'm talking, if you have big treats and you plan on playing along with me tonight, start cutting them while I'm talking. Don't cut your fingers. So pay attention to what you're doing. But that's always number 1. Don't go to training with, most of the time we use homemade cookies that we make. And so when I say we, I don't mean me, but I like to pretend. And so actually I did make them last week, didn't I, Kim? Yay me. So you don't want to be in the midst of training your dog and breaking up the cookies. So guideline number 1, cut up those treats. Guideline number 2, and this is cheating because I put a few things in number 2, is, and pay close attention to this one. I feel this is one of the big reasons why some people fail with their training. I'll give you an example. A few months ago, we hosted this big Zoom class. It was a part of our opening of Doggy Flicks. And so I help people train their dogs. And any of the people that had problems were breaking this rule number 2. Rule number 2 is set the environment for success. I would love it if you guys follow this along. You know what? I forgot something. I want to give away a prize. So if you're watching right now, I'm going to give away 5. Oh, I just dropped them. I'll be right back. I'm giving away 5 Be Kind stickers. So we're going to do a random draw at the end of today. So you will know if you win at the end of today for a Be Kind sticker. I have them everywhere. And here's the really cool thing. This has been on here for probably well over a year, washed, and it never comes off. So I'm going to give away 5 of these, and you can put them anywhere you want. I've got one on my guitar case. You put them anywhere. Be kind. All you have to do is share this broadcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it on Facebook, share it anywhere in social media. Share it on Twitter. Share it on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on you. Share it anywhere. Then come back here and write in the comments shared where you shared it. So my team, if you're picked as a random draw, they can go back to your page and see where you shared it. So I'm giving away 5 Be Kind stickers. All right. I should have done that at the beginning and I got carried away. I was so excited about teaching tricks. Okay. So here's a great way to help you remember these guidelines. Write them in the comments as I say them. All right. So guideline number 1, cut up your treats ahead of time. Guideline number 2 is create an environment for success. And as I mentioned, this is the one that a lot of people fall short on. So what is an environment of success? First of all, if you have more than one dog, or if you have a cat that likes to get in on your training, those animals are out of the room. So they are in another location. Or what I do is my dogs will go, and if I tell them to hop it up in a bed, they'll stay there while I train another dog. So if you've got really well-trained dogs, then you can hop them up in a bed. Otherwise, either in a kennel or X-Pen or somewhere, or in another room. So that way you can focus on the dog, and the dog doesn't have to worry about what this other animal is doing. So yes, Heather's got it. Cut up the treats ahead of time. Number 2, create an environment for success, which means part A of 2A, only one dog in the room, put the other dogs away. 2B means it's a small environment. So either you're using a baby gate or X-Pens to create, or go into a small room. If you've got like a big bathroom, you could do this training in there. You could go to, if you have a small bedroom, or even if you don't have a small room, then put your dog on a leash. Okay. Because that way they're not going to be distracted by, oh, look, there's some fluff in the corner. They're really going to be, now, ideally you're going to be engaging enough that that's not going to be a problem. So that's 2A, is only one dog in the room. 2B is make sure that you have a small area. And the last thing you're going to do, I've got 5 of these. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to get your own dog to train. So number 3, have your props ready and in an appropriate location. So tonight's props include a small mat, like a bath mat, just a dirty dog doormat, small mat. You could use a towel, but a mat would be better. Something is a little more substantial. Okay. So this is number 3, get your props ready. So if I'm going to be training, I don't know, fitness, I might have my props on the ground, but for tonight, I don't want your props on the ground. It's important. So my treats, if you're going to use a clicker, have a clicker. Clicker's optional tonight. And we're going to use a mat, and we're going to use a little lid. So a lid like a canning jar lid, or you can use a plastic lid, but I prefer it be metal. Plastic, the dogs are going to want to chew them. You can try. And here's the thing about tonight. If you've never shaped behavior before and you don't have a clicker, you're still going to get something out of tonight. You're going to play along with your dog, and you're going to still get something get something out of it. All right. The very last thing you're going to do is you're going to get your dog. Don't do it now, because I got to tell you what we're going to train. And then that's step number 4, get the dog. Step number 5 is you do a 1-minute evaluation. This is really, really good for whatever you're shaping. If you're shaping a behavior that, it's important to you, you're shaping a trick, you're shaping obedience behaviors, then 1-minute evaluation the first time out is a really good thing to do. So have a timer. I always set a timer for 1 minute. You know what? If you're like me, most of the time, by 20 seconds, I'm abandoning my evaluation because I know what I need to change. So those are my 5 guidelines. If you listen to the podcast Shaped by Dog, then you know that I have a lot of other tips for successful training sessions, but those are the 5 just easy things that you can have success with that we're going to do. All right. Now, in episode number 185, I talked about Gene Donaldson's great push stick drop, and that's an evaluation that you can do as we go through the 5 stages of teaching this trick. So let me just remind you of the trick. So I've got a little video here. Here we go. This is the trick that we're going to be learning. Has anybody ever tried to teach that trick? Crawl. Have you ever tried that? It's a great question. I'm going to get to that. If you've ever tried to teach the crawl, what is the biggest problem that you have with it? Anybody who's ever tried to teach a dog to crawl, what problem did you have? Because I've trained it a number of different ways. So for me, yeah, the problem, and you guys are all saying the same thing, is they won't stay in that down. Did you see how Tater Salad in that video, his back feet were just so low to the ground? Now that's physically taxing to the dog. So you don't want to do this for hours on end. You do a short little session. Yeah, you all got the same thing I did. They want to stand up. How do I get duration like that? So that's a really cool dilemma. And the way that we teach it kind of solves that problem. It's really, really cool. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, you all got the same thing. They pop up. Yeah, Tater is super, super fit. Somebody asked, what is the 1-minute evaluation session for? Because when we're going to train something, even like I said, I've trained this trick to Tater Salad. I've trained this trick to this. I'm going to get the puppy out tonight. I have no idea if she's going to respond the same way that they did. So the 1-minute evaluation is, are you able to hold your props? Are you able to get your reinforcement out fast enough? Is the target big enough? Are there things like, or is it just like, snowballing out of control? Stop the train, get off the train, sit down and think about, give the dog some cookies, end your session. And, your 1-minute evaluation sometimes is, well, that was 1 minute. It was aces. And I'll take some notes and I'll go back and I'll do another session because that one was great. Okay. Yes. I've used all kinds of methodologies to try and get a dog to crawl. So Gail said, I used a chair for them to crawl under. What happens when they get out of the chair? They pop up. They don't stay down. Probably one of the most successful ways. I mean, I've tried it many ways. Nothing as successful as what I'm going to teach you tonight. Okay, so tonight's method I did mention came from WAG Nation. So WAG Nation is our membership. It's, like nothing else on earth, but I'm a little bit biased because, it's my membership. And in Wag Nation, we have two areas. One's called Trick Time and one's the Learning Lab. Learning Lab, I put in one piece of dog training content every month. And then Trick Time, we most often get a guest instructor to come in and teach a trick. So tonight's trick is coming to you from Barbara. I always get her name wrong. Eikier. Barbara lives on the border of the Netherlands and Germany. And I'd never seen anyone teach crawl this way. And I'm like, I got to try it. And I love it. I have put my own little spin on it. But yeah, it's a really, really cool trick. Okay. So before we go too far in, there are some things that will make this trick easier. If you don't have these skills tonight, not a problem. We're going on and doing it anyway. But I'm going to share with you a couple of the things that will make this easier if you have them. And you can put in the chat. Yeah, I got that. My dog's got. So skill number one, it's your choice. Why? Because then they're not going to be coming forward for the cookies in your hand. Or if you want to put your cookies on the floor beside you, they're not going to be, obsessing about those cookies on the floor. So number one is it's your choice. If you don't have it's your choice, well, we can get that for you. No problem, right? At the end of today, remind me and I'll tell you how you can get it's your choice. Number two is the cue search, which tells the dog, I'm going to throw a cookie and you can go look for it now, right? And if you don't have that, we're going to start it tonight. Number three is a cue cookie, which means stay where you are and I will bring a cookie right to your face. You don't have to use the cues I do. You can, what was it that one fellow that said treat, or I don't know what it is. Use anything you want. Reward. It just tells the dog, I am delivering the cookie. Don't you move. Number four is a release word. So the dog knows when they're done. So I use the word break. Some people use the word okay. Strongly recommend you don't use that. Ideally, it's a word that the dog isn't going to hear in their normal everyday life. In your conversation, we say the word okay a lot. So not a great release word. And the last thing is a dog who offers responses. So that when you're shaping, again, if you have these, tonight will go probably pretty easy for you. If you don't have them, I'm still going to help you get this behavior. I'm just saying those are some skills. All right. So some of you might have all of them. Some of you might have half of them. Some of you might have, a few of them. Okay. 5 stages to teaching the crawl behavior. The first one is, before I begin, I just want to say, if you have slippery floors, you really need to do this on some sort of either carpeting or like I was doing it this morning and I was using with Tater and it was in my closet. So it's tile floor. I just used a dirty dog doormat, one of those long ones. And, because it's got rubber on the back. Why do you need something? Because the dog's got to get traction. Like if you want them to stay low, they've got to be able to get traction low. But if they don't, if you're doing this on a slippery floor, you can probably still try it. But my hallucination is the dog's going to want to get up because it's going to be harder, right? It's going to be a lot harder. Okay. So ideally yoga mat. Good idea, Lynn. I think a yoga mat would work great for that. For sure. All right. So stage number one is, do you want to go get the puppy, Kim? Yeah. Because I'm going to try this with the puppy. Stage number one, I think will be pretty good for the puppy because she should know it, is we want to condition the sight of that mat that I suggested that we're going to use. So the mat is, and don't have it down. I like to put it down so the dog sees me putting it down. And when your 1 minute evaluation's over, you can take it up because we want them to go, oh, this is something special. The goal is we want to condition the dog to go into a down on that mat. But If you tell them down and then we start teaching them to creep or crawl, whatever you want to call it, what ends up happening is down means crawl. So I strongly advise you don't use the cue down on the mat, but here's what you can do to make it easy. I'll show you when I train the puppy with this one. We're going to start by just asking for some downs and release, down and release, down and release. Then we put the mat out and we walk over and we shape the down using the word cookie and search. Does everybody understand that? This is our 1-minute evaluation session. First, I'm going to do just some downs and then I'll start my evaluation. And what I'll do is I want to shape that puppy to go into a down. I think I'll put I'm going to put the camera on. Just want to make sure everybody understand that. Give me a heart or a thumbs up or a gotcha or you're clear as can be or wait, I'm mistaken. So Kim just went to get the puppy, but you can start this now while you're waiting just by priming the pump for the down. So you can get your, maybe not get your puppy up because you're going to want to see me do this first. So maybe get an idea. We're going to do some downs and then I'm going to change the camera because I hear the puppy coming back in. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Kim, I think I should be okay with, just watch in the camera, make sure I got her in the middle. It's okay. We can, Tater's like, there's going to be training. I want in. Okay. So rule number, what was it? Rule number 2, secure your environment. Okay. Tater salad, you get there. Swagger, you get up there. Nantum, you get over here. Good. All right. So now I'm just going to do some down, cookie, search. So this is all I'm going to do. First off, just look at my camera on my computer. Down, cookie, search. Nice. Oh, there it is. Nice. Okay, so I think she's got the idea. Down. Nice. Search. There it is. Now what I'm going to do, just make sure where I'm going to put this, that they're going to see it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and shape her to go on that. So I'm going to, good.
You can just see her from like behind her collar forward.
Okay. Search. Mr. Salad, you will be asked to leave the room. Now, obviously, she has been shaped before, so she understands the game. I just did a few downs. Search. When she comes back, boom, cookie. So you're going to say cookie. Cookie means I'm going to give it to you. And then search means I'm going to throw it off. You want to be able to stand up with this one, guys. Cookie. Search. So ideally, they're coming back. Good. Cookie. Cookie. Search. Okay. So you guys have a go with your dog. Good girl. Search. I'm going to pick that up because that's the end of my little evaluation session. You were super good, little one. Come on, you can have it up there. All right. Now you guys go and try it with your dogs. And then let me know how it went. Come back in the comments and let me know how it went. So far, so good. B, you can come up there. Yeah, Tater is pouting. Tater for sure. Am I using the same cookies for down as for search? Yes. Jesse, that's a really, really good point. You could use lower value for the search and higher for the down. I'm using the same cookies. Went great, Maria said. Yes, Tater is totally still pouting. Let's get the Tater cam on and see Tater with the I am disgusted by you. I should have been the demo dog here. I am so much better than that little one. Yes, definitely true. All of that is true. Okay, everything went great. Super. Okay, step number 2. We are going to warm up with that green target, but we're going to switch it out for your lid. I don't necessarily want them to lie on it, but I want them to be in a down in association with that. Okay, so let's go and try that. I'll change my camera. Okie dokie. I'm going to give everybody a cookie. I didn't release you, young lady. You get a cookie. I'm like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. Swagger says, I don't need a car. I don't want a car. Okay, so this is what, that is not a release word either. This is what I'm using. It's just a canning lid. But again, I'm going to warm her up first with some DOW ends on here. That's really good. Because she broke position twice, you can't see her, but I'm going back and I'm giving her cookies. Cookie, good girl. Goody, great. Good cookie. So search, because I didn't warm her up off the mat with the DOW ends, she didn't offer them right away. Search. I'll just do one more there. All right, so now I'm going to swap out that mat for this little target. Search. Cookie. Cookie. Search. Cookie. Cookie. Search. Cookie. Cookie. She's not, doesn't have, I just want her, she doesn't have to have it under her chest. Search. Okay, that's all I want. Good girl. Hop it up. Hop it. Hop it. I'm going to take my mat up so nobody. Young lady. Naughty of the pants. Okay, Tater says, still, it isn't about me. I don't get this. Okay, so all that we're doing, Sonia says, I love that your shoes match your mat. Oh, a little bold in my choice of shoe color. So all that I'm doing is a transfer of value from the cookies to the mat or to my other target. Okay. So once the dog says, hey, I don't know, what is it about this target? That's what I should do. I should put this on my target. That would be so cool. What would you do if she picked up the little target? Susan, that's a great, great question. And that's why I don't like using plastic, because they're more likely to pick up the plastic. A lot of puppies and dogs do not like to pick up metal. So if they pick up the target, it tells me I'm not fast enough getting my cookies in there. Or if they just couldn't think of, well, I can't think to lie down. Well, then you can help them pick up the target, tell them lie down, give them some cookies, put the target down, give them some other cookies, and give them release. Okay. So I'm going to go through that one more time. If your dog doesn't do what B did and lie down, then what I want you to do is help them. Tell them down, give them one cookie, put the target down between their paws, give them another cookie and another cookie, and then release them. Do that a couple of times and then put the target down and see if they'll lie near it, right? Just to help them be successful. What kind of treats do you use? These are just like homemade tuna brownies. Okay.
Putting the cookies in the mouth, not on the mat, correct? Yes,
I'm putting the cookies in the dog's mouth, not on the target. Okay. Sarah says, my dog isn't this nimble, big beast. Well, tater salad, I don't think anyone would ever call tater salad nimble. The target is without the mat. Yes, for that stage, the target was without the mat. Oh, look at Aaron from our team putting in a link that you guys can get the recipe for my tuna treats. It's not really my recipe. Somebody on, I think it was a Recallers that had this recipe. Okay. Now, you can repeat that stage several times. You don't have to go on. At some point, I'm going to get to a stage where she's not going to be able to progress, right? This is all pretty easy for her. Okay, there was a question. Should the down always be in a Sphinx? Ideally, but I wouldn't, because why do I want it in a Sphinx? Because if they roll their hip, it's really hard to crawl when their hips are rolled. And the goal is to get them into a crawl. Okay, let's have some hearts for Erin jumping at that, putting in the recipe book for all of you.
How do you know they're connecting the target with down versus just downing in front of you?
How do I know they're connecting the target with down versus down in front of me? I don't think they are if you're telling them down, but it's just a way to give them some rewards to prime the pump. Then you stop saying down, and like because I did down on the mat, down on the mat, down on the mat. When I took away the mat, belief said, where's my mat? Well, there's something. I'll just go on that. Right? So the more shaping that the dog or puppy has, the more they're going to offer that. But that's why I want you to help, because lighthearted, lots of cookies. So I want you to help and set them up if they're just standing there going, I don't really know what to do here. Another thing that you could do, if your dog knows shake a paw, you could put the target in your hand and see if they'll shake a paw and touch the target, and then you just lower it to the floor. So, not every dog is going to be the same. I do want a Sphinx drop. Yes, Marianne. So I have no problem with if you have to put the target in your hand and then your dog paws your hand and then you lower the target to the ground. Teresa, another thing that you could do if your dog avoids the target, I'll show you what you can do. I'll just go back to the camera. So if the dog is avoiding the target, here's another option for you. And I would get a clicker out for this if they're really not connecting the two. I just got to do this, but come on. Can you peel one of these? Because oh wait. I have got to stop this live and put a Be Kind sticker on my target. Come on, right? How's that? So here's another thing you can do. Oh my gosh. Do you think she's getting this? Search. Oh, here you go. Search. You can put that right on there. Good. Search. That is really going to be a target for their paw. So search. You can put it close to where their paw is going to be. Good girl. Cookie. Search. All right. So if they're not connecting this, just put it right on your target. Search. Okay. You're too fast. Can you go up it up? Up it. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to rearrange this because I want you to see this next step from the side. You get a new car.
Maybe a tiny.
You get a new car. You get a new car. You don't want a new car. Swagger's got a collection of new cars.
Only see half of them.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can just move it a tad closer over to tater salad for me. Okay. Okay. So the idea is that we're getting the dog value for this, value for that. Do you see where we're going here? The mat gets them in a down to start the trick so that we don't have to tell them down, because if you have to tell them down, you're going to blow your down. Don't do that. All right. All right. So now this is the next step. We're going to get them to touch this target with their paw. But what I want them to do is, instead of moving it forward, guys, I want you to move it sideways, because I want them to keep their back end on the ground. If you start moving it forward too soon, then the dog's likely going to start lifting their back end up. But if we just move it side to side, guess what happens? The butt's still on the ground because they don't have to go anywhere, right? Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like. Good. Oh, I got to change the camera in order for you to see what that looks like. Boom, boom. Okay. Can you just see? Can you look at the camera for me, Kim, please? Did you get your cookie bud? Beep. Mom, you need to go up there, please. Search. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Cookie. Cookie. So her back end is staying on the ground. I'm going to watch her. Cookie. Good. So she's kind of shuffling forward. I'm all right with that. Cookie. Cookie. Oh, it went too far. Cookie. So when I moved it way over there too far, she kind of froze. She didn't know what to do. Cookie. Good. I'm going to come forward a bit because she's good. Cookie. Good girl, Cookie. That's so good. So you could be using a clicker with this. I'll just get the clicker out for those of you who want to use a clicker. Search. So she starts on that mat first, in and down. I put that. Good. Let's try forward. So did you see that little hop? I don't like that hop. If I see a hop, I'm going to go back to sides. Cookie. So watch. You're so fast. Watch the back end. I don't want hop. That's what I'm looking for. I gave her 3, 4 cookies for that. Good girl. That was super good. We're going through a lot of cookies. Search. Now, did you see I picked up the target? She's getting a little bit of a cheating butt there. Thank you. So that was a little bit good. I want her to use, that was better. I want one leg then the other. I don't want bunny hops. Yes, good. Cookie. So if you put it too far ahead, you might get bunny hops. And if you get bunny hops, then just go, like with this here, I had to go side to side for a long time. Right? With tater salad, okay. B, can you go hop it up? I'm going to use TT. Can you call her, please?
B,
Go hop it.
hop it up. Jeez.
Tater, it's your turn. Good.
You're.
So he already has a cue. Search. Oh, there it is, bud. Sorry. With him, I can stand up too. No, TT, you're playing this game. Come here, TT. Good. Nice. Crawl. Good. Do you see how he does one leg, one leg, one leg, one leg? That's what we're looking for. So good. Okay, T, one more time so they can see it. Maybe we'll try it away from the camera. Tay, hop up for a sec. Just finish your job. Hop it up. Just watch his back legs. One leg, one leg, one leg. Take
Look, the mat's not on there at all, so.
But he should be, right?
His neck is. Once you get forward, it will be. Okay, now I can see him.
So, Tater. Come here, bud. You give him. There we go. Come here. Go.
Tater butt.
You can back it up a little bit.
I know.
Crawl.
Back what?
No, that's just cheating. Get your butt back there. So Again, you don't want to do too many of these because I think it's physically hard on the dog. Okay, can you have it? Tater salad puppet. Thank you. Good. Good. All right. All right. Back and forth. Camera. Okay. So the clicker isn't, you can still get it, but it's sometimes, like, especially for people who are new to this, clicker might be like in the way. All right. Once you see that the dog is working their back end a little bit, you can try a bit forward. Eventually, so step 4 is going forward, but watch that they don't start lifting their butt. So how many reps in a session? It really depends on the dog. These dogs get a lot of fitness work. So I could probably do more than most people could do with their dogs, but your dogs might get a lot of fitness work as well. Okay. So once and I just want to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to draw it on a paper here. So eventually you might get the dog way far away from the target. And what they might do is say, that's just too far. And they just get up and run and lay down and crawl for the last step. In order to avoid that, when you get the dog out that far, you need to click and reward 1, throw it back to the mat, 2, throw it back to the mat, 3, throw it back to the mat, 1, throw it back to the mat, then let them go the whole way. Okay? So you can't just keep progressing 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. Eventually they're going to say, I'm out. You've got to go back and reward just 1 step off the mat or 2 steps off the mat, then try to get 4, then go back and do 2 steps, and then go and try to do 3, then go back and do 1 step, then try to do 6, right? So that's the way you progress it. I don't name it until I've got great reliability in a lot of different environments. You can just use your break cue to get them going. Yes, ping-ponging for sure, Jose, sorry. Okay. Equinox says, yeah, he did it. Crawled his full body length. That's awesome. All right. So I knew people were going to get it in this session. When you have a training plan, like the first time I trained crawl on my dog, it probably took me 2 or 3 months to get it. But when you have a training plan that is clear and it is been proven to work, things happen faster. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to get it in their first session, but things will happen faster. And that's why I know that if you were interested in joining WAG Nation, or and today, this is the time to get it, that there would be a lot more tricks like this for you. Also, there's the dog training portion. So we've got in there how to teach your dog how to retrieve. Our whole retrieve program is in Homeschool the Dog. And you get Homeschool the Dog with this bundle. Jenny, that would be an awesome video. Jenny said, I didn't think my wolfhound would do it, but she rocked it. That would be a cool video to see. So I just want to tell you a little bit about who would be right for joining our program. It's a combination of Homeschool the Dog, which if you go to our website right now and you look in the store, you'll see Homeschool the Dog is $297. But tonight, you can, and WAG Nation, which you can only get to WAG Nation if you are a student of Homeschool the Dog. Nobody else in our programs can get in WAG Nation unless you are a student of Homeschool the Dog. So WAG Nation is $10 a month. That's it. You get a lesson plan, a video, you get coaching, and you get to learn a new trick every month. And that's $10 a month. But you get, tonight, we're giving you 6 months of WAG Nation, which would be $60, plus the bundle with Homeschool the Dog, which total, I can't do math. It's like $357. But tonight you get it for $97 until Monday because it's Valentine's Day. It's our Valentine's Day. And we don't bundle these very often. So this isn't something you're going to see on our website. So I know that you can do the training. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you've been following along the podcast and you're like, I wish Susan had a Patreon. Well, this is like a Patreon on steroids. So you're going to get amazing education. And I know your dog will be, I don't care what age your dog is. I don't care if you have a puppy. I don't care if you have an adult dog, because we've had all different breeds, all different dogs. If you have been thinking, oh, I was kind of thinking I'd like to join Recallers, but it's a pretty big investment. This is the way to just dip your toe in the water and become a part of our programs, right? And see if this kind of training where you're engaging the dog and you're playing games is right for you and your dog. All right. So Homeschool the Dog. Let me just show you, because there's an app. So you go into the app, Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation. You can click on either one of these and you can get to both of them, but you click on one and then you say, do I want, well, of course you're going to start here, but you might want to go to Learning Lab. Let's go into the Learning Lab. Okay. So this is one of the things that here, it's your choice is right in there. Verbal fun. So there's a lesson plan. There's a video for you to watch. You can download the lesson plan, and then you can bounce between Wag Nation and I want to learn a trick. I got to do more work on my Homeschool the Dog. You do it all at home. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If it's something that feels right for you, just know, I know you can do it. But I have the big belief that you can do it. Many of you tonight proved that you could teach this trick. So I think the team has put in how you do it. There, look at me. Ho, ho. If you have any questions, though, let me know. I just wanted to, there is questions? Yeah. We only have the app, Lois, for Homeschool the Dog and Wag Nation. Okay. Question.
Dog knows touch and target, especially for bells at the door. My guess is I should not use either of these cues at the beginning. It's a small target.
No, I wouldn't use any cues. Because if you say touch and the dog knows I run to the target, they're going to get up out of that down. I wouldn't use any words that the dog knows for this behavior. Yeah. Really cool. It's a Kajabi app. Yeah.
You had said you were teaching a wall. You were teaching a wall bounce with a clicker, and your dog offered laying against the wall when you didn't.
Yes.
Click. If you are looking for motion with a crawl, how does that fit, and how does Homeschool compare to Recallers?
Okay, so I'm not sure the question about the wall bounce. So yes, you can use a clicker, just don't click the same place every time. So that's why I said, once we get the dog going some distance, and I even did that with B, the target was like the puppy was here and the target was here. This can be my target. And she started moving towards the target, and I clicked and gave her cookies, even though the behavior is I want you to touch the target. I don't want to have them fall in love with that. It's just a guide to help getting them crawling. So if we like obsessively get them to touch the target, then they're not going to be able to do this when there's no target. So that's why I want to click and reward along the way. Right. And then what's the difference between Homeschool the Dog and Recallers? Recallers is more robust. It's 40 games. Homeschool the Dog is 12 games. So there's a couple of games that are similar. And Homeschool the Dog is the only way you can get to Wag Nation. You can't get to Wag Nation in any of our other programs. So in Wag Nation, I mean, they're both you guys, the recallers community is really an amazing, tight-knit community. People have been in there for 10 years. Homeschool the Dog is a place where a lot of people start and then go to recallers, but a lot of the recallers have come back because they've missed out on it. So I recently listened to a podcast about, let me just put that up here. Sally says, I recently listened to the podcast about clickers where you mentioned motion freeze framing is all click at different places. Yes. So if you only click the dog for the first step of the crawl, then that's all they would get stuck at. Oh, I did that. Where's my click? So that's why if you're using a clicker, you want to make sure that you do that at different places. And the really cool thing is with Wag Nation, every month it's $10, but you're getting it in the bundle, so you're not paying any extra for it. There's a new trick every month, but there's already 34 tricks there that you can have access to. We don't make you pay extra for them. So if you join now, you actually it's like you get the last 34 months for free. So yeah, there's that for like, it's dogsthat.com/heart14 to be a part of the programs. Both programs, you get the two for one. It's 6 months access. And at the end of 6 months, you have the opportunity to join for a year. If you join, oh, my Tater and the puppy are having a little. You got to control the chaos that's over there. Yeah, we have a lot of people that are in all of the programs. Susan's in the mall. Susan, you got to get onto agility. That's what's next. What if we're currently a homeschooler? JR or RJB, contact the team. Okay, so contact the team at wag@dogsthat.com if you're already in Homeschool the Dog, and we will help you get into both. You won't have to join at the $97. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Hand signals, yeah, is included in not using a keyword, correct?
I'll get you that in a second. Rachel says, oh, where did Rachel go? I'm really baby level professional trainer. I'm looking into your program to further my education. Are the techniques we learn legally allowed to be taught to our own clients? Absolutely, Rachel. My goal is to help dogs all over the world be better understood. If you're going to use any of our handouts, like I would prefer, like some people change the name of the games and they call them their own. That's not cool. I'd rather you not do that. But absolutely say, this is Susan Garrett's It's Your Choice. Go and listen to her podcast. She's got a lot of free stuff there. 100%. I encourage you to do that, Rachel. And welcome to the League of Professional Dog Trainers. Okay. What was your question?
Not using keywords. Your dog's nose include hand signals.
Does not using keywords that your dog knows
include hand signals?
Yeah, I wouldn't use, like, we're shaping. So the hard thing is to resist the urge to help, because if you help, you're always helping. So yeah, it's really, it's hard, but you really want to try and not help.
And how do you teach the difference between using their paws as target or their nose?
Well, do you see how fast, like the question is, how do we know they're not targeting with their nose to that target?
How do you teach the difference?
Do you see how fast that I just moved on and started clicking her for just the crawling behavior? So it doesn't really matter. As long as you're, focus on those hips, that we don't want the bunny hopping. We want one step then the other. Tater salad's the king of it. And, like I said, if you've been following our YouTube channel, first of all, thank you for following a YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, can you go like this live? Because that helps it get out to a lot of other people. But if you've been following it and you've been saying, the other people have got Patreons, why doesn't Susan have a Patreon? This is so much better for you than a Patreon, because there's instruction from more than just Susan Garrett. I follow the guest instructors and I teach my dogs the new tricks. It's really, really cool. Okay. I want to give away something else. See this tug toy? I love these tug toys. They've got a little rubber. It's called a raspberry on the end. I'm going to give away one of these. And what you have to do to win one of these is go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Susan Garrett Dog Agility. But it's called the Dog Zap Facebook page. Go to that Facebook page. There'll be a post that will say my gem from this live. If you learned something from me today, I'd like you to go there and post your biggest takeaway. Like, what was your big aha? I just love even for the people who didn't see the live, to get a little snippet of dog training by just reading that post of gems. So what did you learn? And if you learn more than one thing, post it under the gems, and my team is going to read them all. And then when our Valentine's Day special ends on Monday. So when it ends, we're going to announce a winner, or they might do it the day before. We're going to announce a winner to the gem contest. All right. So whoever has the gem that the team picks, we're going to the good people at For My Merles. Awesome's where this came from. Love their toys. They are going to send that to you. Remember, it's Monday. February 20th is Monday, isn't it? I think so. I'm going with that. Closes on Monday at midnight. So if you are interested in this, $97 for 6 months of really good dog training. Okay, can you hear me? The puppy licked out the microphone. Can you be? Thank you. Okay. If you have any other questions, and go to that page, the dogzat.com/heart14. It's right there on the bottom, and there'll be a little live chat on the bottom, and you could ask the questions there. If you're already in Homeschool the Dog and you want to just add WAG Nation to it, there is the email address, WAG, right? WAG at dogzat.com. Oh yeah, let's announce the winners. Who's getting some Be Kind stickers? 5 people. Can you just bring that over and I can read it? Winners. And I think somebody on the team will probably put it in the chat, but I'm going to announce the 5 winners of the stickers that we're sending you. HM Pearl, Skull Rock Farm. Okay, that sounds like a really cool farm. I think I want to visit. Sam's Recallers, great name. Bob's Moan. E. Wong. Those are our 5 share winners. Listen, you guys have been great. I think it's just so awesome that we train dogs together live. Thank you for participating here tonight. If it works out for you and you think I'm your people, I'd love for you to join WAG Nation and Homeschool the Dog and really be part of our community, really see what it's like. I hope it works out for you. If not this time, maybe next time. I don't know when next time is, but if you are unsure and you want to learn more, just go to that page, and there's a lot. You'll see a bunch of comments from our current students, from our alumni, and yeah. So thank you. This has been great. Leave a gem, And if you haven't already, give a like on this live and share it on your page. And we'll see you next time. Or for those of you, we'll see you in Mag Nation, right? All right.